This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Jose Benavidez Sr. in Carson, Los Angeles, California. Obviously, we're here for Diego Pacheco's homecoming / coming out party, I would say. He's obviously someone who is raising his profile very quickly, headlining in the stadium. How big is this for Diego, Jose?
You know what? We're super excited to be here, man. It's a great fight. Fighting Suleki, right?
Yeah.
It's a big test. It's going to be an exciting fight. It's a fight where we see where Diego Pacheco's at. I think he's in a great position. I think he needs this fight in order to go and try to fight the big guys. So we have to perform, look impressive, and try to get the big fights.
A lot of people will say that Diego Pacheco has moved so quickly throughout his career that they now believe that he's in line for maybe, a world title shot. We've seen the IBF recently strip Canelo of that title. Do you believe that Diego Pacheco is close to that IBF title?
I believe he's really close. We're ready. Like I said, after this fight, I think he's going to be ready for whatever. Hopefully we get an opportunity to fight for a interim world title or maybe even a world title. So we know that this fight is very important in his career. And like I said, he has to look impressive in order to get those big fights.
I had a message last night from someone in the game, a fighter who wants to fight Diego. He messaged me and said that, can you make sure that you tell Diego I want him next? His name's Jason Quigley. He's from Ireland, where I'm from. You may know him. He fought Berlanga in Madison Square Garden.
I know him very well, actually. As a matter of time, somebody sparred him, maybe Jose Benavidez Jr. sparred him at The Rock. He was training with Manny Robles, and I know him very well. He's a great guy, a guy with a lot of talent. We did offer him the fight maybe like about 2 fights ago, but he said that he wanted to stay at 160. But, if he wants to make that fight, we're ready to make that fight. We've been wanting that fight with Quigley. So I think he's a great fighter, and I think it will be a great fight. And now that you say that, hey, his message has been delivered, and actually we do want that fight.
I think that would be a good marker for Diego. Would you agree? Because obviously, Berlanga got the win. Jason Quigley actually looked very impressive, and now we see Berlanga facing Canelo. So would that be a good marker, maybe?
That would be a great fight. Like I said, we've been looking for that fight. We spoke with Eddie Hearn, and we told him that we wanted that fight, and they came back and they said that no, that he didn't want to fight Diego, that he was going to stay at 160. So that's great. We've been, like I said, that would be an exciting fight. It makes me happy because that would be a great fight. He's a great fighter, a guy that has a lot of experience, and a guy that I know. So it will make a really great fight.
In the UK, a lot of people hear Eddie, rave and rant about fighters all the time. He says a lot. He's a great promoter, but some people don't actually maybe take his words as gospel sometimes. On Diego Pacheco, he's been so high on this guy from the minute that he signed him. What does Diego Pacheco do differently to everyone else?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Eddie for the opportunity and working with Diego. He's done a great job, and when I see him, I thank him all the time. He has done a great job with Diego Pacheco. I believe that, yeah, he can take him to a world title, and he's done a great job. I think he's one of the first fighters that they signed in the United States, and they got him from 0 fights to now. So they have developed and they have shown that they could develop world champions too. So I think we're very close to doing that.
I want to ask you a little bit about David. Obviously, we're still waiting on his next fight news. Is there any kind of ideas to when he'll be out next, or what the situation is with David?
Yeah, we have a fight lined up for David Benavidez in December. So we're just looking for the opponent right now. We're talking about that. It's already done. We have a date. So that's about it. We're trying to see. Hopefully, we could get the opportunity to fight Benavidez and be both the winner of that. If not, definitely we could come down and fight whenever this Canelo decides that if he wants to fight David at 168. We could definitely do that. But those are the 2 fights that are very important to us in our careers. So we could go down to 168, or we can fight these other big monsters at 175.
Where is the fight in December going to take place?
December, we don't know yet where the fight is going to be at. We just know that we have a date. They're working on it. The promoters are working on it. So in a few weeks, we'll let you guys know where it's going to take place.
You mentioned Canelo there. A lot of people this week actually, I don't know if you've seen it, but Paulie Malignaggi had a massive attack on Canelo, said it's the biggest duck in the history of boxing, that he hasn't fought David Benavidez and won't fight David Benavidez. What do you make of those comments?
Everybody's talking really bad about Canelo not facing David Benavidez, not just Paulie Malignaggi. Marquez, Morales, Mike Tyson, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Everybody's talking about that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Canelo is the best at 168 pound for pound. But when you got all the belts, there are going to be other fighters that want to fight, and people want to see competition. You know, he's choosing the guys that he thinks that he can beat, and he's avoiding David. You know, he's asking for $200 million. I think that's a big number that nobody's going to give him, so that's why he's asking for that. But I think maybe like 100, maybe it's more doable. You know, 100 million. I think that fight can be made. And you know, Canelo says that David has nothing to offer, that he hasn't fought anybody. But yeah, he goes and fights Berlanga, fights Munguia. You know, and now he says that David didn't really look good on his last fight. Well, how did he look on the fight when he fought Charlo? At the end of the day. So all these are just excuses, man. You know, let's leave all the excuses to the side and give the fights what they want to see. David Benavidez against Canelo.
Do you believe that we will see that fight? Obviously, everyone wants it.
I don't think so. You know, I don't think we've been trying to get this fight for almost 3 years, you know, and, you know, we went up to 175. So I don't talk about Canelo because that's very frustrating. Canelo. But you know what? It doesn't matter what. People want to see that fight. They still keep asking for it. And, you know, the thing is, if Canelo retires, he's going to hear it his whole life about David, that he dogged David. So I think he has to fight David because otherwise everybody is not going to let him, you know. He's not going to get that status of the great champion he is, you know. So he has to face David before he retires. So, like I said, you know, I didn't want to talk about him no more, but it's impossible not to talk about that fight. So.
Well, what do you make of Canelo Berlanga? You don't seem too happy about it there.
No, you know, no, to be honest with you, you know, at the end of the day, we're all trying to fight that guy that's on top of the fight. So Berlanga's talking a lot of shit about me, that fuck me, this and that, that I'm a hater. You know, I want to, in front, you know, like I did on other interviews, I want to congratulate him, you know, for landing this fight. He deserved this fight. He has worked so hard like everybody else. And he's lucky to get this fight. So I want to congratulate. I'm happy for him. And, you know, and to be honest with you, I don't hate him. I have nothing to hate, you know. He worked hard. He deserves to fight Canelo. And the other thing is, I'm with him. I hope he beats Canelo. Because if he beats Canelo, then other people will have more opportunities to fight for those belts. Because I don't think Berlanga has that power to do whatever Canelo's doing. You know, Canelo does whatever he wants right now, you know, and nobody does nothing about it. And I think we need a new champion. So Berlanga has a great chance to win. He's young, he's strong, you know, and if he dedicates himself, you know, I think there's a big possibility we can have a big upset, you know. So just to clarify and to make everything clear, I do not hate Berlanga. Him and his team done a great job. So I'm hoping that he beats Canelo, you know. But at the end of the day, Canelo's a great fighter. You know, he has all the experience, you know, and I think it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight for Berlanga, but anything's possible when you're inside the ring.
If I was pushing you on a prediction, what would you predict happens?
Well, you know, in my mind, to be honest, like I said, Canelo has everything, you know, and he can adjust to anything, and he's been there a million of times, you know, on the spotlight. So in reality, I think he can beat Berlanga, no problem. He's done it, and he can adjust and do all that. So like I said, if Berlanga comes 100% and dedicates himself, I see him making a big upset. And if that doesn't happen, you know, if he comes like the way he has come on the past fights, I think Canelo maybe can stop him like in maybe 8 or 9 rounds.
Last one from me. When I was interviewing David Morrell at the last event, the Riyadh season event in Los Angeles, I was in the middle of interviewing him and you said something in his ear. What was it you said to David Morrell that night?
I don't remember. You know, I talked to him so many times. You know, maybe I'd say that he's a great fighter. He's doing a great job. You know, I like that guy. You know, I talked to him. I took a picture with him. You know, and we would love to fight him. You know, so I think that fight is getting closer and closer and closer. I think he's a great fighter. You know, he's learning a lot. He's getting more experience. So that would be another fight that the fans would love to see. So it will be an exciting fight, and I think he's a young guy with a lot of talent, and I think pretty soon, I think we're going to face him.
Jose, thank you very much for your time. Look forward to catching up with you again, hopefully on Saturday night after Diego Pacheco win. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I want to thank all the fans and everybody back in the UK. Thank you.